Hey everyone, how are you doing? This is Bite-Sized Crypto, and in this video I will show you the 5 psychological rules you need to know in order to be a successful crypto investor. Because it is not luck or diamond hands that make people successful. These things certainly play a role, but what counts instead are openness and willingness to learn about new things and the guts to take risks. That and the right mindset. And that's why I will explain to you the psychological challenges when investing in cryptocurrencies and how you can overcome them. And by the way, if this is your first time here, my channel talks about crypto, economics and investments. Don't forget to subscribe. Alright, let's get started. So the first and probably most important aspect of all of this here is to control your emotions. In order to be a successful investor, you need a disciplined long-term plan instead of making decisions based on extreme emotions such as fear and panic. To get a better understanding, let's take a closer look at them. When prices are falling hard and fast, the initial greed and excitement turn into fear and sometimes into panic. It's a totally natural reaction for most people. And as a result, we see 10% or even 20% drops in Bitcoin price or crypto prices in general within a single day. Because when people panic, everyone wants to get out. But here's what you should do so that your investments won't be led by these emotions. Number 1, when you decide on investing in a cryptocurrency, make a long-term plan about when you want to buy and when you want to sell. Number 2, define sell targets to cash out parts of your holdings. One of these sell targets should cover your initial investment, and this will help you to avoid the worst case scenarios in case of market crashes. And the third point here is to stay as objective as possible. Avoid panic buying and panic selling. When you make decisions based on your emotions, you cannot see the reality. The second big point which I want to make in this video is that it's all about being realistic. When investing in a coin, many inexperienced investors fall prey to their own fantasy. They're like, oh, this coin will go like 100x and I can quit my job and do whatever I want for the rest of my life, or next month I will be able to buy a house, while in fact, reality often looks very different. While in general investing in crypto promises good returns, most investments do not realize very high returns. It's a fact. And some of them, as we know, are simply scams. So having unrealistic expectations can set you up for catastrophe. Imagine the scenario where an unexperienced investor puts all his money into one coin because he or she thinks that this will be his or her ticket to wealth and freedom. So here's what you should do instead. Number 1, do proper research of cryptocurrencies you plan to invest in. This is the basis for every purchase decision. I cannot repeat this often enough. Second point, after buying a cryptocurrency, you should continuously evaluate your investment. Have important aspects changed? Are the expectations and goals set initially still realistic? And number 3, be brutally honest about all of this. Sometimes the best choice is to simply cut your losses, but more on that a little bit later. The next big point which I want to talk about is to avoid herd mentality when it makes sense. The market is formed by a lot of individual investors and institutional investors around the world. And when we look at candle charts, we are looking at crowd behavior. The reason that Bitcoin price falls or increases is because the crowd thinks it should be lower or higher. And it is human nature to follow the crowd. And this in turn works for and against us. As an investor, you always have to follow the market. But what will make you successful is to know when to go with the trend and when to front run or bet against it. I know this sounds difficult, but it's actually not that hard to understand. Here's what you should do. First, you need to understand the current market sentiment. Are people confident or are they scared? Do they think prices will go up or go lower? Also, you need to understand the current market cycle. Are we in a bull market, a bear market, or somewhere in between? And you need to combine these two aspects to make buying and selling decisions. To give you an example, you know that you are in a bull market and that sentiment is very good, so this would be a great time to sell. Contrary, we are in a bear market and everyone is full of fear and anxiety, so this would be probably a good time to buy. I know that this sounds overly simplistic, but on a longer time frame, this kind of approach can work out very, very well for you. The next point I want to talk about is that you need to avoid self-enhancement. Self-enhancement is an emotional bias. It refers to an investor taking all the credit for the success of his or her investments while ignoring all the other external factors such as timing, luck, or whatever. Self-enhancement makes an investor overconfident. If you manage to sell at the top, don't let your emotions kick in and influence your future decisions. You cannot control price, but you can always control yourself. And the fifth major point I want to talk about is to avoid loss aversion. When we lose $100, the pain we feel is stronger than the joy we feel when we gain $100. This kind of asymmetrical experience in emotions when it comes to losses and gains makes us reluctant to sell our negative performing investments. We always hope that the price will eventually bounce back. And this often happens when an investor bought a new small cap coin during the price uptrend or parabolic growth phase, and then some whales decided to cash out and he or she did not sell in time. As a result, this new coin becomes a negative performing asset in the portfolio. So here's what you need to do. Number 1, always research the coin you want to invest in. I've already made this point before, but I will repeat it here again because it is so important. If you conclude from your research that the project is solid and promising, you can wait to see if the price increases again. Normally, most altcoin prices are highly correlated with Bitcoin price in some way. After Bitcoin price experiences a period of positive growth, it will have a correction and altcoin prices will begin to boom. If after a whole cycle your coin price still does not increase with other altcoins, then it's probably the best time to sell it, even at a loss. So to summarize, the 5 points I made in this video are timeless principles for investing, not just in crypto but in general. Those who take them into account lay the foundation for their success. And depending on your personal disposition, there are certainly other psychological obstacles that you have to consider as an investor. So, in your opinion, what other mental challenges are there that you have to master as a successful investor in cryptocurrencies? Please leave a comment below. And that's all for today. Please leave a like if you found the video useful. See you in the next one.